Okay guys, today we will be changing the oil on a 2015 Ford Focus ST. We're going to go over some of the steps you take in preparation prior to changing the oil, and yeah, let's get to it. So right off the bat, you get your oil ready. I recommend synthetic. It's also it's very good for turbocharged cars, so you can't go wrong there. Gives it a little extra life on the engine. You want 6 quarts as recommended by Ford. And Ford also recommended a Motorcraft oil filter, but I've had good experiences with Fram, and I can't say anything bad about them. You're also going to need some torque spits. I believe it's a T30. We'll find out here in a second when we get the cover off. But they have the Ford Focus STs have a what's called like a, I guess like a force reduction cover. It kind of keeps things from getting up in the gears and stuff. And then you have your size 15 ratchet, which we're going to use to take off the filter pan nut. And then it's also good to have yourself a jack and an oil pan. So when you get your car lifted up, the Ford has a couple recommended spots for lift. Of course, I did my own kind of on the flange here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me turn the camera here. Kind of see where I put it. Fun fact, they also have an arrow pointing to if you ever have to use that coil jack that you guys have by your spare tire. So FYI, if you ever get in a pickle. So I used the floor jack to prop it up, and just for safety reasons, another jack, just in case this one fails, because this is kind of an old jack. But yeah, let's get under the car and see what we're working with. Okay, so on some of your Fords, you may have there's 2 pieces to this bottom shroud right here. There's usually a bar that goes right here, and it takes 3 screws. See, there's 1, there's 2, and 3 is right there. Now that one should come off with, I think, it might actually be a torque spit. For these right here, it's going to be a T30, and that's what I got right here at the beginning of the video. I got a T30 right here. So this shroud right here should have 8 screws, I believe. I'll be able to confirm that after I'm done doing it, but you have 3 up front. 1, 2, 3, and there might actually, let me see, actually 4 up front, so it's a total of 8, I believe. There's going to be 4 in the back, and we'll reach back there and clear this shroud off. Now, I recommend leaving 1 on there, that way it won't fall on you, but it's not incredibly heavy, so it's not like the end of the world, just be a funny moment for you. Alright, let's get that done, and we'll get back to the video. So, here's the cover right here, taken off. Just pretty much just a protective cover, keep stuff from coming in. There's also these grooves that you have to keep mind of when you're gonna put it back on, because they need to go in a certain position. There'll be some little notches that you can see when you put it back in. We'll take a look at those. Well, there's our filter. You guys can see it's right here, right when you get right under the car, right next to our charge pipe. It goes into the intercooler. It's right there. And then from here, we have our oil tank. Oil pan, actually, sorry. And that's the screw we're going to take off. That's the 15. We're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll get back to you. So I went ahead and loosened the bolts. You also got to be very careful with these, because these are aluminum. So if you strip the threads, you're going to be out quite a few pennies. So I want to be really careful. With me, I took my ratchet and I went, if I'm facing the front of the car, I'm under the front of the car, so I moved it to the right. So that might be the what you want to do. And we're gonna go ahead and let this out. Get your pan nice and squared away. Okay, and let's get ready for that car pee right here. That's good. It's a little warm. That's good. The warmer the oil, the easier. It's not as gooey, so it can travel a lot faster, and that's what you want. You want it a little warm, but not like hot. Like I've been driving 45 minutes at 100 miles an hour, kind of freaking hot. So you just want like a good 10-minute drive, kind of hot. So there you go, and we'll let that finish, and we'll get to our filter next. Now while you're waiting for your oil to dry, it's a good idea to get your new filter started with a little of the oil you're going to put in. Now a lot of people have some reservations about this, saying that, oh well, they don't want to introduce new oil that hasn't been filtered. Well, I mean, if you think about it, this stuff's prepackaged. I mean, oil's going to be in one of the cleanest environments it needs to be, Whatever, I mean, if you go ahead and drop it on the floor and you want to scoop it back up, that's different, yeah, of course. But if it's going from bottle to filter, that's different. And it's always good to start your car with a little oil in it. You don't want it running without oil, so yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Now the reason we do this is just to saturate the filter, get it some oil in there. You don't want it just dry. Now when we're done with that, we want to take some of the new oil, like I'm going to do right here, and you're going to rub it on the gasket. Now why we do this, it's just to relieve some of the pressure when you try and take it off later. It won't be as dry and get like a heat fit, which will be like impossible to take off sometimes. You get that stress muscle in your eye, just blood vessel about to pop, so that'll save you some trouble. So we got the filter. Some people say it's good to put a whole quart. I put just a little bit just to get it wet, and then I'll put the rest in the car. And yeah, so our oil looks about drained. Let's get to finishing that up, and then we'll take the filter off. Okay, so we got all the oil drained out, and we took off the filter. Now when you take off the filter, just unscrew it just a little bit. It's gonna start leaking, let it leak out, and then slowly keep unscrewing. And by the time it slows down, you can just like pull it down, and it won't be a big mess. So we want to keep everything nice and tidy when you're messing with oil. Now I believe earlier I said I went to the right here. Now the rules of righty-tighty and lefty-loosey apply here. So you want to hand tighten. Always get these bolts hand started, because you don't want to strip the threading, and you just don't want to just get started and then strip a thread, because they're very expensive to replace, like I was mentioning earlier. So righty-tighty applies. Once you get it nice and tight, then finish it off with a wrench. I believe they said 20 foot-pounds of torque, but I mean you can guesstimate how many 20 feet pounds of torque feels like, or pounds, I'm sorry, and you just kind of hand tighten. It's not a big deal. I usually hand tighten most of my things. Same thing with the oil filter. I hand tighten it enough where I can just take it off on my hand. So the next step we're going to do is I'm going to get this tightened up, and then I'm going to tighten this guy up with the new fresh filter. Okay, well, we got our filter in nice and hand tightened. Cleaned up a little excess oil you had, and also screwed down or tightened down our bolt over here. Everything looks good. Now we're going to put the shroud back on, or the spoiler cover, whichever one you want to call it. I remember I was talking earlier in the video that it was going to have some points on the shroud where they have to fit. There's the point right here. I'm going to get to my hand here, and there it is. It's going to fit in there just real casual like. Same thing over here. It's going to be this one. Let me back it up here, right here, and then just going to slide right in there. It's going to go like that. Sit perfectly. Now let's go over how the screw placement's gonna go, because it's kind of I think the longer ones go in the back and shorter ones to the side, but I'll make sure here in a second. Let me just get it out of here and get that started. Now with everything tightened down back to where it should be, and like I said, we're gonna slide these back into where they go. You see how it just meets the spoiler sheet here? That's what we want to see on both sides. So everything looks good. I went ahead and inserted the oil, which is the easy part. I hope you guys can get that one. I guess that's about it. Let's restart the oil gauge in the car, or the oil time gauge, I guess. It just lets you know whenever your oil's bad and you need to change it. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, get back in the car. So most STs are usually push to start, so you want to go ahead and get in the car, hit the button, and what we're going to do is we're going to simultaneously push the gas and brake down. I think it's for about 15 seconds. That's going to go through all the alerts I have open here. Should be doing it here pretty soon. There we go. That's what you want to see. And it'll tell you when it's done. That way you can lift it up. And there we go. And service oil is reset. Alright guys, go ahead and drop some comments in the video file there, or the field there. Sorry, it's first video. Let me know what else I can do better next time. I'll be doing some more videos on this Ford Focus platform.